AITA for banning everyone from my delivery room after what happened during my labor? My husband says I humiliated his mother and ruined what should have been a beautiful family moment. My own family thinks I overreacted and created unnecessary drama during an already stressful time. But I was the one in that hospital bed, and I made a decision I thought I had to make. I, 28F, am writing this from my hospital room, 3 days postpartum, because I genuinely need to know if what I did was justified or if I've damaged my marriage beyond repair. Let me start from the beginning. I've been with my husband, Derek, 31M, for 5 years, married for 3. His mother, Linda, 59F, has always been a lot. She's the kind of MIL you read about in relationship forums, the ones where you think that can't be real, but it absolutely is. Linda has never liked me. I'm not being dramatic or insecure about this. She's told Derek multiple times that I'm not good enough for him. She's made comments about my weight, my career, my family background, even my laugh. At our wedding, she wore white and gave a speech about how she hoped Derek would find happiness eventually. Derek sees it but doesn't really do much about it. He's a chronic peacekeeper. His dad died when he was young, so it's always been just him and Linda, and she's made it very clear that I'm the interloper who stole her precious boy. When we found out I was pregnant, Linda's response was, "Well, I suppose this was inevitable. At least I'll finally have a grandchild." Not congratulations. Not how exciting. Just a resigned acknowledgement that she'd have to tolerate me more now because I was carrying her grandchild. Throughout my pregnancy, Linda became increasingly boundary violating. She'd show up at our house unannounced to check on the baby, meaning check on my pregnant belly, while completely ignoring me as a person. She'd put her hands on my stomach without asking. She'd make comments about what I was eating, how much weight I'd gained, whether I was exercising enough. She bought nursery furniture without asking us and had it delivered to our house. When Derek tried to tell her we'd already bought furniture, she said hers was better quality and we should return ours. We ended up with 2 of everything because Derek couldn't bring himself to send her stuff back. She insisted on coming to every doctor's appointment. Every single one. I finally had to tell my OB to not allow her back because she tried to follow us into the exam room. One time, she tried to be in the room during an ultrasound. The tech had to ask her to leave 3 times before she finally did, and then she stood outside the door with her ear pressed to it, trying to hear. About 5 months into my pregnancy, I sat Derek down for a serious conversation. "Your mother cannot be in the delivery room," I said. Derek nodded. "Yeah, I figured. It'll probably be too much for her anyway." "No, I mean she cannot be there."
"She will try.
"And I need you to be prepared to enforce that boundary." "She'll understand. It's an intimate moment for us." "Derek, your mother doesn't respect any boundary I've tried to set." "What makes you think she'll respect this one?" "Because it's different. This is serious." I didn't believe him, but I let it go for the moment. At 7 months, Linda asked me directly who would be in the delivery room. "Just Derek," I said. Her face tightened. "What about me?" "I'd like it to be just me and my husband." "But I'm the grandmother. I have a right to be there." "Actually, you don't. The only people who have rights in that delivery room are me and the medical staff." "Derek, tell her." Linda looked to her son. Derek, to his credit, backed me up. "Mom, it's going to be just me and Claire. That's what we decided." Linda's eyes filled with tears. "You're going to keep me from my grandchild? You're not being kept from the baby. You can visit after the birth." "It's not the same. I was there when Derek was born. Well, I was giving birth, but still, I should be there for my grandchild's birth." This conversation happened about 15 more times over the next 2 months, with increasing levels of drama from Linda. She tried guilt-tripping, crying, enlisting Derek's aunts to call and pressure me, even claiming she had medical knowledge that would be helpful. She works in medical billing, not exactly a clinical position. Each time I said no. Each time, Derek backed me up, though I could tell it was wearing on him. 2 weeks before my due date, Linda took me out to lunch. This was unusual. She'd never voluntarily spent one-on-one time with me. I should have known something was up. Over salad she didn't eat, She tried a new approach. "I know you're nervous about the birth," she said, her voice dripping with fake sympathy. "First babies are scary. You'll want someone experienced there. Someone who's been through it. I have Derek. And medical professionals. But Derek doesn't know what it's like. I do. I can help you." "Linda, I appreciate the offer, but my decision hasn't changed." Her mask slipped. "You're doing this to punish me. Because you think I don't like you. This has nothing to do with you. I want privacy during an incredibly vulnerable moment." "Privacy? From family? That's selfish, Claire. That baby is as much mine as it is yours." I put down my fork.
"No.
"This baby is mine and Derek's. You're the grandmother. That's an important role, but it doesn't give you ownership." She started crying in the middle of the restaurant. Loud, gasping sobs that made everyone stare. "You're alienating me from my own grandchild before they're even born." I paid for my salad, left cash on the table, and walked out. That night, Derek said his mother had called him hysterical about how I'd attacked her at lunch. I told him my version. He believed me but asked if maybe I could just let her in for the birth itself, not the labor. Absolutely not. It would mean so much to her. And my comfort and dignity mean nothing? That's not what I'm saying. Derek, if you're not on my side about this, don't be in the delivery room either. He backed down, but I could see the stress on his face. Caught between his mother and his wife, the impossible position of the man in the middle. My due date came and went. I went 5 days overdue before my OB decided to induce me. We scheduled the induction for a Wednesday morning. I told my parents and my sister. Derek told his mother. Big mistake. Linda immediately started texting both of us. "What time should I be there? Should I bring food? I'll stay in the waiting room until after the birth, I promise." I texted back. "You can visit after we've had time to bond with the baby. We'll let you know when." She called Derek crying. Again. He spent an hour on the phone with her while I finished packing our hospital bag. Tuesday night, Derek sat me down. "Mom really wants to be at the hospital. Not in the room, just in the waiting area. Is that okay?"
"Why?"
"So she can pace around and stress us out and try to get updates every 5 minutes. She's excited. She's about to be a grandmother."
"Fine.
She can be in the waiting room. But Derek, I'm serious. She does not come into our room. Not during labor, not during delivery, not until I say she can come in after. I'll make sure she knows." Wednesday morning, we arrived at the hospital at 6 a.m. They got me checked in, started the Pitocin, and we settled in for what I knew would be a long day. At 8 a.m., Linda texted Derek that she was in the waiting room. At 8:30, a nurse came in and said, "There's a Linda here asking for updates. Should I tell her anything?" "Tell her things are progressing normally and we'll let her know when there's news," Derek said. The nurse left. Came back 10 minutes later. "She's asking if she can just peek in to see how you're doing." "No," I said firmly. "No visitors until after the birth." "Got it." The nurse left again. This happened 4 more times over the next 2 hours. Linda finding different nurses, different staff members, asking for updates, asking to just see her for a second, asking if there was any way she could come back. I was getting increasingly annoyed. I was in labor. I was uncomfortable. And I was having to waste energy thinking about my MIL instead of focusing on my body. "Derek, you need to go out there and tell your mother to stop harassing the staff," I said during a contraction. "She's just worried." "I don't care. Tell her to stop or leave." Derek went out to the waiting room. He was gone for 20 minutes. When he came back, he looked exhausted. "She's upset, but she said she'll stop asking for updates." "Thank you." Around 1 p.m., my labor started getting intense. The contractions were close together and painful. I was trying different positions, breathing through them, holding Derek's hand so hard I thought I might break his fingers. At 2 p.m., I decided I wanted an epidural. The anesthesiologist came, did their thing, and within 30 minutes I was feeling so much better. At 3 p.m., a nurse I hadn't seen before came into the room. She was older, maybe late 50s, with a kind face. "How are we doing?" she asked, checking my monitors. Better now that I have the epidural, I said. Good, good. I'm Nancy, by the way. I'll be helping out this afternoon. She bustled around the room, adjusting things, checking the floor, making small talk. Then she said, Your mother is very excited. She's been in the waiting room all day. My mother-in-law, I corrected. Oh, right, sorry. She mentioned she's hoping to be here for the birth. She's not. It's just going to be me and my husband. Nancy nodded, but something about her expression made me uneasy. At 4 p.m., my regular nurse came back. I asked her, Who's Nancy? I haven't seen her before. Nancy? We don't have a Nancy on the floor today. My blood went cold. Older woman, late 50s, gray hair? The nurse frowned. That doesn't sound like any of our staff. Let me check. She left. Came back 5 minutes later with a security guard. We have a situation, she said. Someone impersonating a nurse came into your room. We're trying to locate her now. What the fuck? Derek stood up. We think it might be related to the woman who's been asking to see you all day. Linda? My mouth fell open. My mother-in-law dressed up as a nurse to get into my room? We're not sure yet, but we're investigating. In the meantime, we're putting a security hold on your room. No one gets in without proper ID and your explicit permission. The nurse left. Derek and I stared at each other. Your mother dressed up as a nurse? I was shaking. We don't know that for sure. Who else would it be? Derek went out to the waiting room. I could hear shouting from down the hall. He came back 15 minutes later, pale. It was her. She paid some woman $200 to borrow her nursing scrubs. She thought if she could get in and help you, you'd see that having her there wasn't so bad and you'd let her stay. I started crying. Not from pain, not from labor, but from sheer rage and violation. She paid someone to help her sneak into my delivery room? She said she was desperate. She said you were being unreasonable. Get out.
What?
Get out of this room. Now. Claire, come on. Your mother tried to trick her way into my delivery room. She violated hospital security. She paid someone off like this is a fucking heist movie. And you're defending her. I'm not defending her. I'm just saying she's desperate to be part of this. I don't care. Get out. You can wait with your mother since you think her behavior is understandable. You can't kick me out. I'm your husband. This is my baby too. And it's my body. My medical procedure. And I'm telling you to leave. Derek looked like I'd slapped him. You're really doing this? Your mother tried to sneak into my delivery room and your response is to make excuses for her. Yes, I'm really doing this. Claire, please. I'm sorry. You're right. What she did was insane. Let me stay. Please. I looked at my husband, the man I loved, the father of my baby, and I saw him the way I'd seen him for 3 years, always caught in the middle, always trying to keep everyone happy, never fully protecting me from his mother's behavior. No, I said. Get out.
He left.
The nurse came back. We've escorted Linda from the building. She's been banned from the maternity ward. Do you want to press charges? I don't know. Can I decide later? Of course. For now, she's not allowed back. And we've flagged your room. Only people on your approved list can enter. Thank you. I labored alone for the next 3 hours. My sister showed up after I called her, crying. She held my hand, helped me breathe, told me I was doing great. At 8:47 p.m., I started pushing. At 9:23 p.m., my daughter was born. She was perfect. 7 pounds, 4 ounces. Dark hair like Derek's. My nose. Absolutely perfect. The nurses cleaned her up and handed her to me. I held my daughter and cried. My sister was crying too. She's beautiful. You did so good. Should I call Derek? Do you want him here? I did. Despite everything, I wanted him to meet his daughter. I had the nurse call him. He was in the waiting room still, hadn't left the hospital. He came in tentatively, like he wasn't sure if I'd changed my mind about him being there. But when he saw our daughter, his face transformed. He started crying. I handed her to him and watched him hold her for the first time, whispering to her, telling her he loved her. "I'm sorry," he said to me, not taking his eyes off the baby. "You're right. I should have protected you better. From all of this, we need to talk about boundaries. Real ones. With real consequences." "I know. We will. But right now, can we just be happy?" We could. For that moment, we were just a family. My parents came to visit around 11 p.m. They held their granddaughter, cooed over her, told me how proud they were. "Where's Linda?" my mom asked. I told her the whole story. My mother's jaw dropped. She did what? Paid someone for scrubs and pretended to be a nurse. That's insane. That's actually criminal. The hospital asked if I want to press charges. I don't know what to do. What does Derek think? I kicked Derek out of the delivery room. He didn't meet his daughter until after she was born. My mother's expression changed. "Oh, honey, that must have been so hard. For both of you." He kept defending her. "I know. And that's wrong. But he also missed his daughter's birth. That's something you can't get back."
The guilt hit me then.
In my anger at Linda, in my hurt at Derek's response, I'd made a decision that affected all of us. Derek had missed the birth of his first child. After my parents left, Derek and I talked while our daughter slept in my arms. "I fucked up," he said. "I've been fucking up for 3 years. Every time my mom crossed a line, I should have shut it down. I told myself I was keeping the peace, but really I was just avoiding conflict. And you paid the price. I need you to be on my side. Really on my side. Not I agree with you, but let me explain her perspective on my side. Actually putting our family first. I will. I promise. Starting now. Your mother cannot meet this baby until she apologizes. A real apology.
To me.
For everything, but especially for today." Agreed. And if she can't do that, she doesn't get access to our daughter. At all. Derek hesitated for just a second, that old instinct to protect his mother, but then nodded. Agreed. "And we're doing therapy, marriage counseling, because I can't keep living like this."
Yes.
"Whatever you need." We sat in silence for a while, watching our daughter sleep. "I'm sorry I kicked you out," I said finally. "You should have been there." "I should have. But you were protecting yourself." "I get it."
Do you?
"Because everyone's going to say I'm a monster. I kept a father from his baby's birth. Over something his mother did. Over something my mother did that I didn't adequately protect you from," Derek corrected. "This is on me as much as her." That night, Derek posted a photo of our daughter on social media. Just her tiny hand wrapped around his finger. The caption, "Welcome to the world, baby girl. I promise to always protect you and put you first." Within an hour, Linda had commented, "Why wasn't I told she was born? Why am I finding out on Facebook? This is cruel." Derek deleted the comment and blocked her. My phone started ringing. My mother-in-law's number. I didn't answer. Then came a text from one of Derek's aunts. "Heard what happened at the hospital. Linda is devastated. You've gone too far. She's the grandmother. She has a right to be there." I didn't respond. More texts came throughout the night. Derek's family rallying around Linda, telling us we were cruel, heartless, punishing her for being excited about her grandchild. Not one of them mentioned that she'd violated hospital security. Not one acknowledged that what she'd done was completely unhinged. The next morning, Derek's phone rang at 6 a.m. It was Linda. He answered on speaker so I could hear. "Derek, baby, please tell me you'll bring my granddaughter by today. I'm dying to meet her."
"Mom, we talked about this."
"You can't meet her until you apologize to Claire." "Apologize for what? For being excited? For wanting to be part of the biggest moment of my grandchild's life? For sneaking into Claire's delivery room by impersonating medical staff?" "I didn't impersonate anyone. I borrowed some scrubs. I just wanted to help. You paid someone $200 for scrubs so you could violate the boundaries we explicitly set." "Boundaries? She's family. There shouldn't be boundaries in family. There absolutely should be. And until you can respect them and apologize for crossing them, you're not meeting the baby." Linda started crying. You're punishing me for loving you too much. I'm protecting my wife and daughter from behavior that's not acceptable. I'm your mother, and she's my wife, and this is my daughter. We're my immediate family now. You need to accept that." Linda hung up. The stories started spreading through the family. But the version Linda told was very different from reality. According to her, she'd simply been waiting in the waiting room when I suddenly decided to ban her from meeting the baby. She'd done nothing wrong. I was just vindictive and wanted to hurt her. And I'd cruelly kept Derek from the birth too, just to punish him for having a mother who loved him. Derek's family mostly believed her version. We started getting messages. "You can't keep a grandmother from her grandchild. Linda made one mistake and you're punishing her forever? What kind of mother are you going to be if you're this cold-hearted? Derek, don't let your wife alienate you from your mother." My own family was split. My parents understood, but thought I should let Linda meet the baby just to keep the peace. My sister thought I was completely justified. My brother said I was being dramatic. Today is our third day in the hospital. We're going home tomorrow. Linda has shown up at the hospital twice. Both times, security had to escort her away. She's not making the apologies easier. This morning, I got an email from her. A long, rambling message about how she'd given her whole life to Derek and now he was choosing a woman he barely knows over her. How I'd stolen her son and now I was stealing her grandchild. How she'd never forgive me for keeping her from the birth. Not one word of apology. Not one acknowledgement that what she did was wrong. Derek read the email and blocked her email address too. "She's not going to apologize," he said. "She genuinely doesn't think she did anything wrong." So, what do? We stick to our boundary. She doesn't meet our daughter until she can take accountability. That might be never. Then it's never. I want to believe him. I want to believe he'll hold firm. But I'm terrified that in a few weeks or months, when the dust settles, he'll start pushing for reconciliation. For the baby's sake. Because she's getting older. Because life is short. And I'm terrified that everyone's right, that I'm a cruel, heartless woman who's keeping a grandmother from her grandchild over a mistake. But every time I doubt myself, I remember that moment when Nancy walked into my room. The violation I felt. The fear. The realization that my MIL had gone so far as to commit what was essentially fraud and trespassing to force her way into my most vulnerable moment. And I remember Derek's first response being to explain her perspective instead of protecting me. This morning, a nurse asked if we decided on pressing charges. "I don't know," I said. "Will it make things worse?" "Ma'am, what she did was serious. She impersonated medical staff, paid someone to help her bypass security, and entered a secure area without authorization. That's multiple crimes. But she's family. That doesn't make it okay. Actually, it might make it worse. She violated your trust in a medical setting where you should feel safe." Derek and I are still discussing it. Part of me wants to press charges, to make it clear that actions have consequences. Part of me knows it will permanently destroy any chance of reconciliation. But maybe there shouldn't be reconciliation with someone who thinks this behavior is acceptable. I'm writing this while my daughter sleeps in the bassinet next to my bed. She's perfect and tiny and completely innocent in all of this. Derek is asleep in the chair next to me, his hand resting on the bassinet, like he's protecting her even in sleep. I love him. I love our family. But I'm terrified of what comes next. So, Reddit, AITA for banning everyone from my delivery room after my MIL tried to sneak in? Should I have just let it go and allowed Derek to stay? Am I wrong to keep Linda from meeting her grandchild until she apologizes? And am I actually cruel and heartless, or am I protecting my family? I'm 3 days postpartum, hormonal, exhausted, and questioning everything. I need outside perspective from people who don't have a stake in this family drama. Please be honest. Even if the answer is that I overreacted. Edit. People are asking what Derek was doing when Linda was in the room disguised as a nurse. He was in the bathroom. The whole visit lasted maybe 5 to 7 minutes, and she left before he came back out. So he didn't see her. Edit 2. The woman Linda paid for the scrubs was apparently someone she met in the hospital cafeteria. She offered her $200 cash to borrow her scrubs for an hour, and the woman agreed. The hospital is trying to identify her to take disciplinary action, but Linda won't give them any information about her. Edit 3. For everyone saying I'm punishing my daughter by keeping her from her grandmother, Linda has proven she doesn't respect boundaries, even in medical settings. What happens when my daughter is older and says no to something? Will Linda respect that? Or will she find ways to override it like she did with me? I'm not keeping my daughter from a loving grandmother. I'm protecting her from someone who thinks rules don't apply to her.